This morning I want to proceed. So last time we were able to discuss, we were discussing concerning the PHP on how you can insert data into the database together. But now this morning I want to discuss now on how you can insert the same data by using what? By using a form. Because what happens in programming, you may be requested. For example, I think you have ever seen a registration form whereby you have, for example, the first name, the second name, the last name, the email address, together all this information. Because you're supposed to insert this information using a form, then we have, for example, we have this form here. Are you able to see this form? There's something here. Form action is equals to insert.what.php method is equals to post. The reason we are using method is equals to post now, because now we are picking this information from the form, then that information is submitted into the database table. Then we have this code here in start.php, the processing or the PHP code that are supposed to pick this information. That's supposed to be this page, insert.php. Still, there is a way, like now what will happen here, we'll be having two pages. This is the first page having the form, then we'll have another page having what? The insert.php. But still, you can process the same information in the same page. So I think we should come up with a form. I'll create a form. Then that is what? That is, for example, we can have the registration.php. Then we have the insert.php now. Remember, here we have the submit. That information, once submitted, it is picked by this form, by this PHP code here. Can you see you have the connection here? I think I explained this one last time. Can you record this information? Francisca and Clarlin, can you record this information? Can you record
Yes.
here? This is the connection. Then here we have the localhost. But I said here, instead of writing the word repeater, just write what? Root. You just have the root. Then here, this is the password. I said here you have to write the word root. Together. Then here you write what? This is Peter. We said Peter is the username. Then we have what? ABC123 is the password. But I said just indicate here root. Then for the password here, just leave it blank. So don't include what this information, that information. So once you have created the connection here, you have to select your database. Remember, in a single database, you can have what? Several tables. For example, you can have, for example, database company, we can have what? Table employees, we can have a table registration, maybe table payment. So we have to select our database, then we select the specific table whereby this information is supposed to be inserted. So we have MySQL underscore select underscore what? DB. DB means what? The database. So our database here, for example, you can have a database packing, you can have a database company. Then we are inserting this information into which table? In table, maybe customers altogether. We're inserting first name, last name, and age. Remember in your form here, we have the first name, the last name, and the age. Then something you have to remember, can you see this name here? Can you see this one? Are you able to see this information?
Yes.
So this name is equals to first name. You have to use, for example, in the case here you used F name, you have to make sure still in the insert.php, you are using the F name. Otherwise, you have some errors. So we said name is equals to first name is equals to last name, and name is equals to age. Still, now inside of PHP, we have that information. We have first name, last name, age. In the case here, you use the lowercase, and here you use what? An uppercase. You can have what? Some information. But you realize this information that is being posted is here. Let me just show you. It is here. And this is this one. It's in what? In lowercase, because we said that PHP is what? Case sensitive. So in our table person, we have three columns. One of the columns is what? First name. The other one is last name. The other one is age. And together we have what? We have age. Then we are posting what? Can you see the post is here? Because we are picking this information from the form, then we are posting it into the database. But in the case now, we wanted to retrieve the information, we could be using get. To do what? To fetch the information from the database into the what? Into the web browser. So we post what? We post the first name, the last name, and the age. Then once we do that now, we have this information and echo. What together? So one record added. Then we have to close the connection. Understood? Yeah, understood? Gladly, any question? And Francisca at that point, any question? Any question on the form? Because I want to come up with a form now. I want to have some practicals. Any question with the form or the code for the insert? Francisco, any question? Yeah, in case of no question, maybe I can come up with a, so let me just have some practicals. So what we have to do now, we have to start our XAMPP. But together, let me just start my XAMPP here. Yeah, I want to come up with that form, with that page. Let me start with, let me start my XAMPP. Yeah, because we said you can use either XAMPP or WAMP. So what we have to do now, at the XAMPP, we have to open the htdocs, then you have to create a folder. What will happen in this folder now, all the codes, for example, for the form, the registration, the connection, they're supposed to be placed within what? A single folder. So let me just create a folder here. I hope you're able to see my screen. Are you able to see what I'm sharing now? Let me share. Are you able to see? Just confirm. Francisco and Claudine, is it clear?
Yes.
That is okay. You have to speak because I might think some of you are sleeping. Yeah, so we have this information. Let me just create a folder here. Let me have a folder here. Let me just create a folder here for today. Let me just rename it to web 2. Altogether, that is my folder. Or maybe I can just give it maybe, or let me just use web 2. It is here. Oh, there is one. Just create another one. Let me have test 7. That is my folder. So all the codes they're supposed to be present what in this folder. Let me just start my text editor here. I'll be using the Notepad++. You can use the Dreamweaver, or you can use what you call the Sublime Text. I'll be using the Notepad++. I hope you're able to see the, can you see the text editor? Are you able to see the text editor? Just confirm before you start the program. Claudine and Francisca, is it clear the text editor before I proceed? Just confirm.
No.
Let me see. Yeah, you have to confirm because this is more practical as I proceed. No, I think it is a bit okay. Now it is okay. So what will happen now, I want to come up with a form here. This form will be having several fields. We'll be having what? Several fields. For example, you can start the first one that I've prepared in the notes. We have the first name, you can have the last name, you can have the age. So we have, and the extension is supposed to be what? .php. So let me just first save this one first. I'll save it in that folder. It's 7 is here. We'll have maybe, let me have index for registration. Let me just have reg.php for the registration. Then you have all types. So we'll have the form is here. Let us have the form. So we'll start with what? With our HTML. And remember to save your work every time. Then we'll have the headings here. I know you are consistent with the HTML. Then you can have the title. Yeah, because I said we'll be having what? We'll be having two forms here. One form, one page for the registration, and one page for the processing of the what? PHP codes. Yeah. Then you can have title, registration here.
Morning, sir.
Hey, morning, Ibrahim. We have already started. So Ibrahim,
Okay. Yes.
we are discussing concerning the registration, whereby you're supposed to have a form. Together, you have a form and you have the PHP, the insert for the insert code for the what? For the PHP. So you're supposed to have a
Okay.
registration form, maybe for example, having the first name, the last name, the email. Then that information is supposed to be submitted into the what? Database table. Remember, in the database, we can have what? Several tables. Understood? So what is happening
Okay.
here? We have decided we have a form first. Then this form
Yes.
will input some information. Then that information will be submitted into the database. Understood?
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yes.
now it is okay, you can proceed. Then have the headings here. And actually today, I'll be showing you, today you have to listen carefully. I'll be showing you several ways of inserting information. Once you have this one, I'll still show you on how you can insert data into the database, you modify together, you edit, you echo back. Yeah.
Yes.
Then you can open our body here, or you can just have heading 1. It does have heading 1, registration form. And first, I have to close my HTML here. Then here I'll have the form. Form action will have this insert.php. Then method we said is equals to post. Method is equals to post. Now let me ask you a question. Ibrahim, why are we using method is equals to post? Why are we using post here? Why?
Because you're referring to the action of the insert.
Yeah, but yes, that is true. But why are we using post? Because you can have two. You can have method is equals to get and method is equals to post. Why post not get?
To mean that you're referring it to the database.
For this one we said, because now we are picking this information or we are submitting information into the database. That together we are submitting. Understood? In case you are
Yes.
retrieving, we could have used to get.
Yes.
So let us have this. So we had the first name, we had the last name, and the age. And the last name. Then you have a submit button here, because there's no way we can submit this information unless you have the button. We'll have the button is here. Now this is our form here. So let us see, let us run this from the web page we see on the web browser. Let's run the form. So you have to use maybe a Mozilla Firefox or a Chrome to run it. So we have localhost is here. Then I think we are using test 7. Test 7 is our folder. We have that. Then we have this reg.what.php. We have this one. Are you able to see this one? Can you see it? Are you able to see our form?
Yes.
Yeah, so we are supposed to submit now. For example, in case I click submit, in case I click this one, you do not have that page. And this is what is happening. You do not have this page for the insert.php. Because the processing is supposed to take place in this page. So what we have to do, the same folder, we have to create this page for the insert.php. Insert.php. Then later you can validate your form. For example, like the age. Like the age is supposed to be inserted with just integral values, that together just the numerical values. There's no way the age of a person can be having what some characters. Is it true? Or do you have someone who is called Mwangi 37? Do you have that? You do not have that. So later you have to validate your forms and together. Yes, let me just get back to the let us have now the insert.php. Now this is the insert.php. Are you able to see this one? We have this one. This is the code for the what? Insert.php is here. You just have to copy this information. Because in the programming in the PHP, we said one of the characteristics of this language, there is what you call the principle of reusability. The principle of reusability. You can use the same code here in a different system. Let us have this code. I'll just pick this one. Then you have to create insert.php. Are you able to see this one? I hope you're able to see it. Is it true? I hope you're able to see the new screen I've shared concerning the insert.php.
Yes.
And then you have to save it, insert.php. Then you have all types here. You have what we have, all types. Now, this is the connection here. We said this is the username, but we would like our username to be root. The default is supposed to be root. Then we do not have a password, so you have to leave it blank. It has to be blank. Then our database now, what we have to do now, we have to create a database. Understood? We have to do what? Create a database in some tables having what? And a single table having first name, last name, and age. let us have maybe you can get a database company, database what company here. I think I had shown you last time. I demonstrated on how you can create a database together using the code. Let me just open my PHP admin here. Then I just click what database here. I just click database here, databases. Like you can see now, these are databases here. These are what databases here. All these are databases. Let me just create one database company. Company. Have company. Now it is here company. But now we do not have some tables. Let me just create what a new table. Maybe table persons. Sorry, we can have a table persons. Then the number of columns. We require the first name, we require the last name, and require what the age. Still, we require the one for the primary key, the ID. So we require 4. Just click go. I hope so you're able to see this one. Are you able to see that information? Because I will be explaining something here. Are you able to see this information?
Yes.
Yeah, what happens here? The first one is always the ID. Remember, I think you are not databases. You are not database whereby we have the column for the primary key. Is it true? And you know what is a primary key? A primary key is a key that uniquely distinguishes or recognizes each and every record in a table. Once you have a primary key, there is no way we can have 2 records having all the same ID. Together. Now the type here, you're supposed to select what is an integer. Then you can specify the values for this one, or you don't specify the values. Then here, can you see this one? This is the primary key. Can you see we have several keys here? We can have the unique, the index, but in our case here, it is the primary key. Then we have this checkbox here. This one is for what? AI means what? Auto increment. You just check it. Yeah, because what will be happening, in the case the first record is 1, the second record will be 2. Will be what? Will be 2. Then we have the next values here. We have what? First name. Remember in our code, can you see we have this one? We have first name, last name, and what? And age. We have first name, we'll have the first name. Then here, for the first name, it's supposed to be a character or a text. You can use any. Then you have to specify the values. Remember that the range is supposed to range for what? For the character, the range is supposed to range from 0 to 255. I can just select in. Let me just use even 255. That is enough. I do not require a key here. Then we have the last name. The last name. Still have a character or a text. Let me just specify the values. Then you have the age. The age is what is an int. Then we can have maybe any value between 0 and 250. Let me just use even 34. That is okay. Then once you do that, now you click what? You click save. Now, yeah, we have this. Now we have this information. So this is our table here. We have the ID, the first name, the last name, and you have what? The age. From there, we can get back to our registration. Now, before I get back, maybe I can get back to the code. Let me just say the code once more. Yeah, and the people who have joined, it is good you just do this. Just rename yourself because they'll be picking the register. At least they know who are here. It's good you rename yourself. Now we have this part here. Now we have the first name in our database. We have table, we have database company, and we have table persons. Whereby in that table persons, we have 3 columns. We have the first name, the last name, and the age. So once we post the information using the form, we'll have this message here: 1 record added. Altogether. Then once we do that, now we can close that connection because what that connection. So let me just let us get back to the form. It's here. I hope you're able to see the form. Can you see the form? The registration.
Yes.
So, for example, the first name. Let me just use someone should provide this information. Who can give me the first name?
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim. Ibrahim Ogemba.
Yes.
You can have that age.
34.
But I hope you have lied to us. Right together. That is
Yes.
okay. Together. Then you click what? We click submit. Right together. We click submit. Can you see what can you see this message here? 1 record added. Then we're in this page, insert.php. Can you see that?
Yes.
In case we open our form here, let us just not our form, our database table here is here. Let me just click. I have to minimize this one. It's been hidden. Just minimize it. There it is here. Can you see we have this information? We have Ibrahim. We have it shows that the Zoom will close after 10 minutes. Then it will have to start again. Right together. It will just close
Yes.
itself. Then it will have to start once more because it is giving me a session of 40. Then it adjusts that 10. So can you see now we have this information? We have the first record. We have Ibrahim Ogeba, and the age is supposed to be what? 34. Then we can insert. Let's get back to the form. We can have the second registration information. Who can provide this information?
Francisca.
Yeah, you can have Francisca. Don't worry about the spelling in case I'm not sure about the spelling. Last name?
Deu.
Age?
30.
30. That is okay. Then we click what? We click submit. Another record has been added. Together.
Yes.
But I'll show you something else later. For example, maybe you're coming up with a system. Right together. What happens? You have this message. Registration successful. Then you are redirected back to the page. Right together. You click OK. Then you are taken back. I'll show you. Then you can have other information here. Let us have. You can have. Let me just use my name. Just use my name. Then you click what? We click submit. Submit. Still, 1 record has been added. We can just refresh our page here. You see. Yeah, can you see what is happening? We have the second ID supposed to be what? It's supposed to be 2 because we check that box for what? Auto increment. Understood?
Yes.
That is how you insert information into the database. But still, you're supposed to know on how you can echo that information once more. For example, you have inserted this information. How do you retrieve this information? Let me just show you. How do you retrieve that information? Or maybe do you have a question before I proceed? Any question?
No question.
That is okay. Let me just show you. Now, we have what we call the select. Together, we have the select what statement. This one, it is used to do what? To select information from the database. Together, once it is able to select now, that information can be retrieved. So, for example, when is this code here? We have this one. We have this part here. Select from what? From persons. Select from persons. What will happen now? Once you have this asterisk at this point, we'll have to fetch all the information from the database. You have to do what? To fetch all the information from the database. Then we'll echo what? We'll echo 2 rows here. We'll echo the first name and the last name. Are you able to see that?
Yeah.
We have the first name and
Yes.
we have what? The last name.
You're gonna Ben.
Hey, there's someone who is talking. So I'm saying, once you have this aesthetic at this point here, select from persons, we'll echo all the information from what? From that table. But now we have the specific. We have the first name and we have what? We have the last name. So we'll just copy this information. You can have this information. You can just copy this information. Yeah, because once we type it is a bit case sensitive, let me just copy this information. Then I can have a page. I can have what? I can have a page whereby, or still in the registration, I can have it below. Once I register, I'm able to see that information. Together, I'm able to do what? That information. Still here in the registration, just do that. That is here. Together, I can just press it here for now. Together. Or let me just create a. Let me just press it here for now. So we have root. Then we do not have a password here. Then database what? Company. We have that. Yeah, so we have this part here. Together. Let me just add something here. Then on this page, I'll just refresh it. Oh, there's something I've online 32. Oh, there was an error there. It's okay. Let me just refresh it. Can you see what is happening? We have this information. Are you able to see this information? It has been echoed back.
Yes.
So you have Ibrahim, you have Franciscan, you have what? Boniface Mwangi. But now, what happens is you come up with a system. Together, you're supposed to organize that. As you come up with a system, you're supposed to echo that information using a table. Together, it's supposed to be organized using what? A table. I'll be showing you in a few minutes. So any question after that point?
Can you take me back to the codes for the echo?
Yeah, for the echo is here. Just show you. And remember, every time you have to ensure the PHP code is embedded in what? In HTML.
Okay.
Yeah, it is here. It is here. I'll be able to see.
Yes.
Any other question?
No question.
Yeah, it is okay. And I'm wondering, you are just 6. Where are the rest of the members? You see, I'm wondering why they are missing classes. I think that a programming class now very, very essential together. Very, very essential because now they are losing a lot of information together.
Yes.
Any other question before I proceed? Any other question? We have Anzetse. Good morning. Anzetse, are you here with us? Matthew, good morning. Any question, Matthew?
Morning.
Any question?
Yes, I'm here, morning.
Do you have any question?
Oh, not yet.
That is okay. So, for example, like now, in case you're in your systems, I believe now you can insert information in the database. Can you do that now? Caroline and Francisca, is it possible now? You have the registration form, then you have to insert that information in the database.
Yes.
That is good. So the next time I'll be inquiring concerning the systems next week. I believe I'll be seeing that because I'll request you just show me on how you can insert information in the database. I should see the registration form already is there. Now you have to insert. Yeah. Now I'll take you to another section. Still in this part, just get the screen. I want to come up with a comprehensive form. This form will be having the first name, all the required. For example, the first name, the last name. Still, will be having a checkbox. Still, will be having the already button for the gender. And let me inform you something. There's a way. For example, we can have maybe, for example, we are registering the courses like DIT, DCS, and DPIT. Instead of selecting this information from the select box, there is a way you can insert this information in the database. Then it will be echoed back. Understood? Let me just show you. Let me just demonstrate that. Yeah, the session will close for in 1 minute, then to have to connect Stena. Because I'm using Zoom to close for 1 minute, then we have to rejoin.